Funding for Cup of Joe with Joe is brought to you by DeFabio Chiropractic, where integrity, thoroughness, and a friendly staff have been servicing the community since 1985. DeFabio Chiropractic is where an accurate diagnosis leads to rapid pain relief and better function. Located on Springfield Avenue in Berkeley Heights, it's the natural choice for your healthcare needs.
Well, it's a Cup of Joe with Mayor Joe Bruno. I'm your host, Dr. Donald DeFabio. Attending the show this edition is also Councilman Robert Woodruff to give us a really good handle on what's happening in town from our council and mayor. Mayor Bruno, Councilman Woodruff, thanks for your time today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Doc.
You know, a lot's happening. Last time we were on, we talked about the succession. I hear that's a hot topic, so we're going to hit that today. We also want to talk about this referendum that's coming up on May 7th. So a lot of action. Mayor, where do we begin? Let's follow up the referendum about the succession. I'm sorry. Let's follow up the succession. Let's do that first.
Well, yeah, it was sometime in the latter half of last year we started talking about the secession, and it has just gotten to the point where this council, this government has it's come to a fruition that we're just tired of the taxation and the way that our partners in Union County spend our money. You know, they're nice people and they have their method of doing it. I don't think we're not going to tell them what to do. We just don't want to be party with it anymore. We do such a tough job, or a good job with our budget, and we actually slice it right down to below the bone. And when we see things going on in the county, it just gets us a little concerned. And when we started doing the research, we started finding out if we were in different counties, what our taxation would be, and it's mind-boggling. If we were in Morris County, I believe the figure would be a hair over $7 million would be our donation to county taxes. Our taxes to Union County are $14 million. Wow. So it's a sizable difference. And again, it's only one county away, and you see every day in the newspaper some things that are going on in the county. And I don't know at what point we forget how to spend money as government officials, but I can tell you in Berkeley Heights, we don't forget. When you're a business person, you bring in a certain amount of money and you spend. When you're a homeowner, you make a certain amount of money, you spend to your means. In government, we just keep on spending, and every time we ask for more money from the taxpayer, what we're saying to the taxpayer is, we can't make a cut, so you make a cut. And I just think that's wrong.
Councilman Woodruff, what kind of numbers are we looking at? 7 million, 14 million? How is that going to impact the average household? Do we have any numbers that are a little more tangible?
Well, I think we can say this. The last time we were together, Doc, we had estimated that it was a little less than 23 cents on every tax dollar went to the county.
Okay.
All right, about 60 goes to your schools, and the remainder would go to the town. That's up over 24 cents now since we last talked.
Okay.
So obviously it's not coming down.
It's gone up.
It's going up, that's correct. And as
that
the
goes
mayor,
right back to what the mayor is saying.
Absolutely.
And who knows where they're spending this money on it.
Absolutely. And since the last time we talked, two events have occurred that the mayor has alluded to, which I think are simple examples of the county just having a complete tin ear as to what's in the best needs of the citizens of the municipalities in this county. About 2 months ago, they created a $75,000 a year job plus benefits for a retiring freeholder. Now, that to me, and I said they created the job. Those were some of the reports. Now,
wait a minute. The freeholders created this for a retiring freeholder? Who
freeholder
created the job? The freeholders?
The freeholders created a job for a freeholder who had retired about 2 weeks earlier.
Got it.
Right? And then just last week in the newspaper, and I'm sure many citizens have seen it, the state, Trenton, the DCA, was taking extreme exception to the fact that Union County, to the tune of $160,000, pays the current 67, 68-year-old, and I don't want to offend the woman with her age, 67, 68-year-old head of the Democratic Party, where she is assumedly, or so she's described as, running a municipal authority of some kind for the county at $160,000 plus. Again, as the mayor has said on this occasion and earlier, we're not trying to tell the county how to spend their money, but they're spending ours.
Well,
they're spending the people of Mountainsides, the people of Westfield. And at what point in time is this going down? Well, we're not going to change it. Yeah. We're not going to change it, and quite candidly, we can't. So the only thing we can do is exercise what we think is the ultimate in shared services, and that is seek to go to another county.
Take our marbles and go play with somebody else.
That's correct. And I note for the record that Morris County had a 0% tax increase.
Wow.
They just came out within the last 2 weeks.
Not for nothing. I know federally we're spending more money too. Other townships or counties spending more money that you're aware of, and where you just. Well, I know we're in touch with Union and Morris because those are the ones we're dealing with. But you can give me any other.
No, I really can't. But most towns are very, very close to the bone. We have to be. We have a 2% cap imposed by the state, and it's there for a reason. There are certain things we'd love to do that we simply can't do because of that cap. And it's we manage. We manage to get things done. Perfect example. I'm going to take a lot of heat for this. Is this year we decided as a governing body not to have the bulk pickup that we usually have. It's a big controversy, but we've neglected our streams and our not the river, but the streams and the brooks in town, and we have about 100 trees that need to come down. They're in right-of-ways and they're not in great shape. We don't have the money to do that, so we forego the bulk pickup and take the $110,000 and dedicate it towards stream remediation and the trees, and next year we'll reinstate bulk pickup. But those are some of the hard decisions we have to make, and we're talking about, and most people say it's a necessity to get the bulk pickup, the stuff picked up. And they're counting on it. And a lot of people say, this is a service that they're used to and not going to get, and they're right. But there are people who are living by streams and brooks that are flooding every year. And as the mayor and the council, we have to look at, globally, what else can we do for those people? And it's about time we clean those streams. So these are hard decisions that the township has to make, and the county doesn't seem to me be making a lot of those tough decisions. Not when they're creating a job for a freeholder, not when they're paying, the person who those jobs are responsible for, $160,000 a year. And by the way, she manages 2 people and works from home.
Yeah.
Okay, so. I wish I had a job like that. I mean,
me too.
I'd like to know where I can apply. And there's just a lot of things. I mean, you look at Runnels Hospital, for example. We lose money. I say we because we're part of Union County right now. We lose money every year at Runnels Hospital. The county does. So why not try to sell it to somebody who can make a profit? They're now looking at that. And if they can do that, that would be great. So you take an entity that's losing money and you sell to somebody who can make money, and instead of becoming a drain, it's now a rateable. Now we get income from it. They spent an ungodly amount of money on a golf course, at Galloping Hill to build a catering hall for it. I mean, should we be in the golf course business? And again, if it makes money, great. That's a good investment. If it doesn't, it's a drain. Sell it and becomes a rateable. So these are the types of things we're looking at that I question. And there's a host more of things that I wonder what we're doing. And there's got to be something that can be fixed between $7 million and $14 million, I'm sure. And what really gets me is that everybody and their brother down there is telling us it's impossible. You're never going to do it. It's a big task. I won't kid anybody. It's never been done. But in 1960, the thought of putting a man on the moon was impossible and never been done. And you got to try it. And I think now is the time to try it. We've been talking about taxes for a few years as a state. We're starting to really get our arms around some of the things, some of the expenses in New Jersey, and you have to make it affordable. So going back to Einstein's definition of insanity, if you don't do something different, why would you expect the results to be different?
Yeah, no, I love it. Mayor, I want to commend you for your businessman's approach to managing our budget.
Unfortunate. I got a council that sides with me. They're also businessmen.
Well, I appreciate that. We're going to take a short break, and I want to do a couple of follow-up questions to that on what we can do to get the word out and get the citizens more involved in what they can expect. Take a short break. We're going to go out and get some coffee on a Cup of Joe, and we'll be right back.
That's low and look, he's blushing. Seriously? Okay.
Welcome back to A Cup of Joe, and we're really getting some interesting information about the succession, taxation without representation. That's us in Union County. And we want to just take our marbles and go to Morris County. It makes so much sense. Councilman, how can we get the word out to the people? How can people ask the simple questions that I'm asking you?
Well, the council has, during most meetings at least, alluded to this through some information, some of which I've given you, some of which the mayor's given you. But we hope to have a meeting designated specifically during the month of May to have the people in town come and give their thoughts, ask questions. We hopefully will have newspaper articles, numbers. We have our CFO who's done some very good work for us in putting together some numbers, some comparisons with neighboring counties. We would be eligible because of our location to obviously go in two different directions. Okay. Because we abut Morris County with the river separating us, and we also abut Somerset County. So we really have our choice.
Nice.
It would appear, as the mayor indicated, and I think we agree, that Morris offers us the greatest opportunity, and I don't mean to slight our neighbors in the other direction, but I think the greatest opportunity is probably Morris. And hopefully we can convey this information to the members of the public and remind them that this is on the referendum. This is a referendum, rather, on the ballot when Governor Christie runs.
Okay, so that's
in the fall.
In November?
In November, correct.
Okay.
And we hope to have it adequately explained through meetings and as well as information in the local newspapers.
So people the citizens can vote on whether to proceed ahead in the succession attempt.
Absolutely, it's their choice.
Got it, got it. And the bottom line is it's going to save us some money.
Yep. Bottom line.
It really, really is pretty straightforward.
Correct.
You know, Mayor, the succession has never been done before.
No.
That doesn't stop us.
Doesn't stop me.
There you go.
You have to try, and I'm not a person to throw my hands up in the air and say, okay, it's never been done, so it never be done. It's a long shot, so to heck with it. If we don't try, we'll never know. And I think the time is right to mount this campaign, both locally and even state and county-wide. We have to make New Jersey affordable for people, because right now you get to a certain age, you pack your bags and you move out. And it can be affordable. New Jersey is a beautiful place. You got the shore, you got the mountains, you got New York City, you got Philadelphia. It's a great place to live, but we have to make it affordable, and it can be affordable if we limit the duplication of government and the redundancy, and pare down the expenses. And if other states can do it, we can do it. There's enough models out there to look at and say, let's give it a try, because it's a great state to retire in if it wasn't so expensive.
You know, let me throw you a pop-up question. It's Cup of Joe, Joe.
Okay.
I want to throw you something that's not scripted. Any other plans to combine services? Any other plans to look at how we can put together a savings for the citizens by joining forces with neighboring towns?
Well, you know, Doc, we pride ourselves on our shared services. If we don't have it, we buy it from another town. We don't start something up. I'll give you, for instance, we don't have a Board of Health or a health officer here in Berkeley Heights. We have a Board of Health, not a health officer. So Rahway does our health officer services. A Democratic town, you know.
That's okay.
Doesn't sway me at all. If you got the services, I don't care who you are. Our animal control is done by Madison. Our IT is done by Madison. Excuse me. Our animal control is done by Milburn. Our IT is done by Madison.
Okay.
We share, of course, our sewer plant with a lot of folks.
Well, that's our sewer plant, though.
Well, we share with a lot of folks. It's a shared service. They pay for us. So there's a lot of things you know we share. We've actually bought printing services from the county. The Board of Education buys their gas from us for their buses. So we do share services. If we don't have it, you know, we'll go out and buy it or share it. And that's the way it has to be, because you just can't have everything. You know, it can't be everything to everybody. So we do a good job, and we look for more. Again, you know, we looked at doing it with the dispatch, and that didn't quite work. So we built a state-of-the-art dispatch here in Berkeley Heights that has the capacity to take on another town if another town should want to do that. And by the way, if we stay with the original plan, the other two towns that we will share with, their plans are still on the drawing board. So we have a state-of-the-art dispatch that dispatches emergency services and police, and it's going to open up this Thursday. So and the other ones are still on the board.
Excellent,
Yeah.
excellent. Well, again,
our chief and our OEM director, get a lot of credit for that. They've been mounting that campaign.
Excellent. So we have the drive, the referendum. assuming the citizens are in support of it, where does it go? What happens?
Well, then it has to go to Trenton. Then Trenton. The legislature has to. The county system was created by the legislature, and the legislature would have to sanction. Where we go. So after we get, if we get the citizens back at us, then we take the fight to Trenton. And I know where Trenton is. I get there. I got GPS, and we're going to keep on fighting. And every chance we get to make sure our voices are heard.
So would that just be like getting any other bill or legislation
Yeah.
passed, goes through the Assembly, goes through the Senate, has to come out of committee, the same process?
Exactly. Same process to get us out.
Interesting,
Yep.
interesting. Well, now I'm going to segue again. We talked about a referendum. We have a different referendum coming up.
Yes, we do.
May 7th, officially, we got a special vote coming up. What's this special vote on May 7th?
Special vote is to amend the sewer agreement between the Township of Berkeley Heights and the Township of Warren. We have an agreement with them to take their sewer, some of their sewage into our plant and prepare it and clean it and put it back into the Passaic River. Because of the Berkeley Heights Aquatic moving up to Warren in that area, it would have to be amended. It's something that I'm opposed to, and I have said so on a number of occasions. And the council has decided, on their own, they've backed that posture. So we said no once, we said no twice. They got the required number of signatures, and it's on a referendum. We actually even fought that because we didn't think it was something that should be on a referendum. It's a contract, and we are hired by the people through the vote to represent them on contracts, and didn't think that's something that should be overturned. We lost.
Yeah.
So now the people will decide.
You know, Councilman, perhaps you can give me one little bit of information, then we're going to take a short break. The mayor had mentioned that it's a special addendum to the agreement with the Warren.
What it is,
I
Doc,
missed that part.
what it is this. We had a contract, in existence with our neighboring town. What happened is a private entity was essentially seeking us to amend a contract between us and another party. And the council voted 5-1 not to do that. We set forth our reasons, and they ranged essentially, my own personal reason had to do with the fact that we, as a governing body, have a right to enter into contracts. And this particular contract was entered into under a set of facts that I believe were beneficial to us and the other side. That's what contracts are for. They're mutually beneficial to each other. The introduction of this, I'll say, addendum, if you wish, changes the terms and conditions of the contract. It's not what we bargained for, and it goes to the very essence of what contracts are. Two parties bargain for something.
Got it.
And that's part of what is a major impediment as far as our council's concerned.
All right. Well, I know the council voted 5-1 in favor of not allowing the contract to go forward. So we have a lot to talk about. We're going to take a short break. When I come back, I'm going to kind of water it down a little bit because there's still some legalese going on here, gentlemen, okay? Let's water it down. Let's bring it down to brass tacks so the citizens know what's going on. Take a short break. We'll be back with Councilman Woodruff and Mayor Joe Bruno. On A Cup of Joe, we're going to be talking about the referendum on May 7th about Berkeley Aquatic and the Sewer Commission.
Coming home can be hard if you're a veteran of Iraq or Afghanistan. You may feel like you're all alone, but you're not alone. At IAVA.org, your fellow vets are all around you. Join our free online community, get the resources you need, and connect to other vets who know where you're coming from. IAVA.org. We've got your back.
Welcome back to the show. Councilman Woodruff, Mayor Bruno. Again, we're going to water this down a little bit because there's a lot of legalese going on. We have a sewer plant in town, which services the town, and it also services other municipalities.
Correct.
The tract of land in Warren we're talking about where BAC's proposed to put up their new facility wants to send that sewage to Berkeley Heights, which is where that sewage is supposed to go. If you put up 3 houses there, or whatever, you put another facility there, another something house, another complex, whatever, that sewage would come to town.
Correct.
So why is this an issue? Because it's BAC. That's the first thing I don't grab.
Well, as the mayor has alluded to, it presents a significant problem on a couple of levels.
Okay.
All right, one of which is that which is generated by this facility will be chlorinated water, not water that is normally discharged through a normal residential home, which in fact could impact on our sewage plant, et cetera, et cetera. And if that occurs, then the costs of fixing that fall to the taxpayers of this town, not to the taxpayers of Warren, nor to the individuals who own, the private individuals who own that particular piece of property. It doesn't fall to them. In addition, and I know the mayor's been very active in this, we have a possibility in this town in the next 5 years or so of having one hotel, maybe two.
A second one.
A second one, who become taxpayers, who then will obviously be significant users of the system, but they're taxpayers, right? So they get priority. So we're sitting here saying, wait a minute, this is not about this year. It's not about an $80,000 hookup one-time fee. It's not about $6,500 or $6,800 a year. But that's not what this is about. This is about the long-term best interests of this town. And as this governing body has repeatedly said, while we need to take care of our present concerns, and they go out for a year, 2 years, 3 years, the length of our respective terms perhaps, we need to make sure the people of this town are protected 15, 20, 30 years out. That's our obligation.
Got it.
And that's why we all believe very, very strongly in this. We really do.
You know, if you look at our sewer plant, it's not a young sewer plant. It's been maintained very, very well. It's been here, I don't know how many years, but I've been in town over 20 years, and it was here before I got here. We have spent in the last 7 years since I've been on the council and now as mayor, a couple of $1 million in bonds to keep the sewer plant going, to renovate it. We keep it in a state it is because it is a money generator for us, because it is the lifeline of our town. In fact, during the last storm, we had it powered by generator, and it cost us 800 gallons of diesel fuel a day to keep it going, because if we didn't, when you went to flush, it wouldn't go anyplace after a couple of days.
We'd be like New York City,
downtown
New York.
And
problem.
it runs on an ecosystem that we use good bacteria to clean. And everybody and their brother knows chlorine kills bacteria. That's why Grandma used to use it. So we just can't take the chance. And it is designed for the primary use of the citizens of Berkeley Heights. As the elected mayor and council, that's what you elected me to do. You elected me to protect the citizens of Berkeley Heights and the assets of the township of Berkeley Heights. And that's what I'm doing. These people have a monstrosity building going up their backyard, and they called and said, Mr. Mayor, what are you going to do? To put it in perspective, the building footprint of the BAC pool, it's 51,000 square feet. It is bigger than the footprint of Giant Stadium at a story and a half. You know, would anybody want that in their backyard? Sure. You know, so it's not in my backyard. It's not in anybody's backyard. You wouldn't want that in a residential area. And you know, I get calls during storms that the trees are down and the streets need repair, and they're legitimate calls. You know, so if anybody called me about this, you know, and they said that when they did the referendum, they said, you know, it's good for the kids. It is good for the kids. It's a good program. But, you know, sign this petition, it's good for the kids. We want to put a baseball field until you find out that first base is on your front step. Yeah. You know, it's not the right place for this facility. It's a potential detriment to our facilities, and it's on the backs of the taxpayers of Berkeley Heights. It's just not right for our town. And as the mayor, I don't see how I could have any other posture but that.
Very well spoken, but I am going to ask you a question to neutralize something. It's my understanding that the water that comes out of a pool, like Lifetime, is dechlorinated before it's sent out.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Because that's the position, you know, like his Lifetime pool water
gets dechlorinated before it gets sent out, and it's not sent to the Berkeley Heights sewer plant. It's discharged into the streams, into the river.
Lifetime goes into the river?
Correct. That's correct. So does the.
Interesting. Now that I didn't know.
So does the pool, the Berkeley the community pool. You know, and there's one other argument they use: Camp Riverbend. Camp Riverbend does have the rights to go into Berkeley Heights, but they don't, and they haven't, and it's only open 10 weeks a year. Yeah. So,
but again, if it's neutralized, anyway, right. there's layers here. Is my point. There's layers here.
You've said that well, Doc, and there's another issue here, and it's got legal ramifications. If currently we're dealing with residential dwellings with the agreements we have either with Warren and or New Providence or whoever we have, the residential. If this occurs, then what do we say to New Providence or anyone else that wants to do a commercial hookup? We say no. We've now got a problem. All right. So
meaning right now we're a municipality dealing with other municipalities in terms of exchange of services and fees.
Correct, of which they are paying us for. In a sense, we're being good neighbors.
Yeah.
All right, which is fine. They're paying for the service. But what occurs now if this commercial entity comes in, a privately owned commercial entity, when we have perhaps a similar entity, not necessarily a pool, but a similar commercial entity, let's say in another town, that says, well, wait a minute, why can't I avail myself of this? Well, why couldn't they? We lose the argument. Okay, it becomes a very difficult argument for us.
Again, these are my points. There's a lot of layers here, and thank you for breaking it down, because sometimes the technical legalese loses sight of kind of the bare facts. And that was also well said, Mayor, because I was going to ask you, is this just because of that part of town? And clearly it's got layers beyond that part of town.
Again, I want to say,
because you're right, in that neighborhood, it's kind of a no-brainer.
I want to say for the record, because we've been accused of, I mean, a lot of people, a lot of things have been thrown at us. Like we don't like the back, we don't like the program, we don't like the kids. I mean, a lot of hurtful things. I mean, I think the BAC program is a tremendous program. I know people who have gone there. I think it's a tremendous program. I think they learn how to swim, and it keeps kids busy. All accolades. Where they're doing it is the wrong place for it. Especially when you look on Route 22 and there's miles of real estate there that people have walked away from. If you were going to build a pool and draw a crowd, wouldn't you want to be in a place where people during the meets could get something to eat and be an asset to the community?
I was going to put up a little bit of a Donald's taco stand over on the corner and hoping I could pick up some of that,
Well, I mean, you drive on Route 22 and go west for about 2 miles into Plainfield, and there's a place where the Kmart and the Pathmark and the Circuit City is. I think it's a mile long of place you could put a pool there, and all the business in the area would benefit, and it'd be a hell of a rateable for them, and I don't think they'd have any problem. It's right off a main artery. Perfect place. There are places to put that. They'd be an asset to the community, and it wouldn't be in anybody's backyard. It'd be where it's supposed to be in a commercial area instead of people's backyard when they bought homes and they thought they were going to look at trees, and they're going to look at something that's as big as the footprint of Giant Stadium.
Yeah, interesting. Mayor, we're going to wrap up the show a little bit. It is a cup of Joe. Any comments you want to get out? Because we meet about every 2 months, so by the next time we meet, anything you want to get people to start thinking about, or any other closing comments?
There are a lot of things going on in town that I think people should be aware of. First of all, we have the upcoming Memorial Day Parade, and we have a fundraiser dedicated to that.
Let's buy some flags.
That's right. We're looking to line the streets of Berkeley Heights, the parade route, with American flags in honor of the Vietnam veteran. We forged this partnership with the VFW, and they're a great bunch of people. And talking with these are Vietnam veterans that are running this now, and talking with them, I just get the sense they never got that welcome home they should have gotten, and all they did was follow their country's direction. So we're going to finally give it to them, and I just think it would be a great from Memorial to Veterans Day to have the streets.
How can we get flags?
You can. The applications are available online, and it's $50 per flag, and we have different levels. If you buy one or two flags, it's the star status, the stripe status. If you buy up to 5 flags, you're a star.
There you
go. So again, they're for $50 a flag. And again, we need about 100 flags to do it, and we're well on our way. The other initiative is our town clock that we're looking for, and that's online too. We want to put a town clock right in the middle of Peppertown Park.
Very nice.
There's a signature piece. And we got the rubber ducky race in the summertime. We'll have the second annual pig roast, the VFW. We're having on June 30th. We're having our first annual street fair. To bring people to Berkeley Heights and show them what our downtown. So a lot of things going. Pay attention to the website, and you'll see everything that's going on.
Mayor Bruno, as always,
thank you,
it's been wonderful.
Thank you.
Councilman Woodruff,
you're welcome,
Woody,
Doc.
as you're affectionately known. We like,
Correct.
you're our color commentator. You know that. You need to throw in that color. But it also helps break down some of those legal terms. We do appreciate it. Again, Mayor, it's great. I'm Dr. Donald DeFabio. It's been a cup of Joe with Joe. Get informed, get involved, and remember, Berkeley Heights is a great town. Look at the people we have taking care of it. You're part of it too. Have a great day.
Funding for Cup of Joe with Joe is brought to you by DeFabio Chiropractic, where integrity, thoroughness, and friendly staff have been servicing the community since 1985. DeFabio Chiropractic is where an accurate diagnosis leads to rapid pain relief and better function. Located on Springfield Avenue in Berkeley Heights, it's the natural choice for your healthcare needs.